just to get this out of the way right up top, I don't have autism. And it's totally fine if anyone here does. And it would be fine if I did, I just don't. I bring it up because a lot of people that tend to assume that I have autism, and I think it's because I'm not hot, but I'm also not nice to them. And they're like, oh my god, she doesn't get it. And it just like doesn't occur to them when not hot people can be mean to people. That's like most of our day. Beauty's a prison. I felt some of you pull back when I called myself not hot and way to question authority. I love that about you guys. I am deeply qualified. We can go through my resume together if you like. I've lived in this city for almost a decade, and I've been catcalled 2.5 times, which is statistically impossible. The half point is because a guy once leaned out of a car window to inform me at an even tone, hey, your socks don't match. And that was missing a comma. Anyone can tell. If he had been comment literally any other word, it would have counted as a full point. Like, hey, your socks don't match, comma, sweetheart, hun, mama, baby girl, hot stuff. Really anything could have gotten us up to a third point, but he rolled the car window back up, and I've thought about it literally every day since. And like, I'm the only woman at work that hasn't been hit on by the office creep. And it's like devastating. Because I work with some real uggos. And even then, this man wants nothing to do with me. You know that does to a person, like psychologically, when you are ranked socially beneath a man who's been called into HR multiple times for peeing with his pants and underpants on the ground at the urinal at work. Like, I don't use a urinal, but that's criminal, right, sir? That's a crime. He not. It's pretty bad. I've had people thrown out if they don't nod. So, speaking of work, women, do you guys ever like get assigned tasks because they decided that you as a woman were going to be good at it, not based on like you as a person? Yeah, like taking notes in meetings. I'm not good at that. Don't let these childbirthing tips fool you, okay? I've lost my company hundreds of thousands of dollars. The client loved the changes, I think. I don't know. It was raining that day, and I was watching that, to be really honest. Or like calendars. I feel like every man I know is just like hiding behind a woman's Google Calendar. And they act like it's witchcraft, you know? Like we're back there casting spells. Like God came down and anointed just women with this like gift of calendar. Like Prometheus and a gift of fire. These men are like, I don't know how you do it, babe. I don't know how you do it. I know when every single sports team is playing every single sports team. But I couldn't possibly remember that we have lunch with your friends tomorrow. That's insane! How would I know that? That's calendar. Yeah, no, I'm supposed to take the trash out, but you have to remind me every week, because I don't know what day it is. That's calendar. Also, I need you to buy my mother a Christmas gift, even though I've known her 20, 30, 40 years longer than you. Because that's somehow also a calendar activity. And it's crazy we let these men be in charge of literally anything, like the FBI or the police force. They can't even find scissors that have been living in the same drawer for the last 6 years. And I can't keep doing this. I know we talk about it all the time in the meetings, but I think it's time we break this sisterhood. I think we gotta welcome the men in. We have to teach them the magic. I think the wheel will keep turning. I think it'll be okay. Gentlemen, I believe in you. First, you're gonna need a pen. That's the whole thing. We are writing it down. Crows could do it. Elephants. Most pigs. It's not even thumbs that's holding you guys back. We don't get like special little phones with special little apps for our like teeny tiny delicate little wrists. We're just writing them down. And I just think it's messed up that in the 50s, men used to fuck their secretaries, and now they expect every woman they fuck to also be their secretary. Like, one sexual harassment, the other one is wage theft. And it's 2025, this is a union town, and we can start acting like it, okay? I'm calling for a general strike, emotional label or otherwise. And I will see some of you brave souls on the picket line, and the rest of you scabs, you know who you are. Speaking of corporate greed, have you noticed how comfortable corporations have been getting? I feel like we gave them nihilistic Arby's and like Icarus, they flew right into the sun. They're just human and not in a Citizens United way. I'll give you an example. I feel like all of June corporations are like, oh my God, you're gay? We are gay. Samesies, twinning, I love that for us. Yas bitch, we're queens, slay honey. But they never bring that energy in February. All of February, they're like, you're black. And I love that for you. Wakanda forever. Please buy Yoplait yogurt. Anyway, now that I've established that I don't have autism, let's all listen to this next joke and see if you agree with me and my doctor. I do have this other thing. It's pretty common, especially here in DC. It's called an internal monologue. Everyone know what that is? Some people are weird, and they have a thought, and then radio silence, and then several hours later, a new thought. I've never met them, but they do exist, and that's you, good on you. But the rest of us normal people have, like, you know when you're watching CNN, or there's just like a running Chiron ticker tape at the bottom? That's all day, every day, baby. And as a kid, though, I didn't know it was really normal, and most of the population has that. I thought I was the only person, and because I was raised in a high-control religion, Catholicism, I did naturally assume the voice was God. I thought God and I were just like best friends who agreed on everything all the time. Like, we hated the right people the right amount. Like, we hated Michelle Wu for taking less chocolate milk because she does what she did. And because we were best friends, we could also read each other's minds. And I knew that I was going to live forever, and I was going to see the collapse of the universe and the end of time as a construct. And I knew that God was pretty stressed about it, not me. So calm under pressure, just God. And I don't know if you've ever been 6 and tried to comfort an all-knowing being about his anxiety, about the concept of time ending as a construct, but you're not smart. In a way maybe you could have been if you could pay attention in school for a single moment, knowing you would outlive every star. But basically what would happen is just like, I learn a fact, God and I would discuss it, and then we were done. We didn't need anyone to fact check God. So like, I learned in school about magnets, and naturally we extrapolated that people secretly had magnets inside of their hands. That's how they caught stuff like baseballs. Because baseballs are secretly metal, as you know, sir. And that's the reason I was bad at baseball was not physics, but because my magnets were flipped the wrong way around. And I was like, I don't need a coach, I need to speak to a surgeon immediately. Gotta flip these magnets. I was, and this is not politically correct, dumb in a way that children shouldn't be. I believed, well, in my teen years, that PBS was funded by a company called Viewers Like You. And I used to like sob hysterically every time my mom brought coffee into the car because we had learned at school that you can't drink and drive. And I asked 0 follow-up questions. I was like, it's not a gas or a solid, it could kill us, so you have to pour it out. And so it was a big deal when I got invited to my first and last sleepover in 2nd grade. And I studied. I studied so hard. I studied harder than any other child who would grow up to be an adult and take one pass in autism evaluation has ever studied for a social event in the history of time. And God and I were nailing this thing. At one point we were going around in a circle, we were sharing who we had a crush on, and I knew the right answer. It was 2002, and I had done a lot of studying. And Heath Ledger was on the cover of every magazine. And if you don't know who that is, do yourself a favor, go home tonight, print 10 Things I Hate About You, and be changed on a chromosomal level, okay? I don't care who or what you are into, you will feel something during the course of this film. No notes, perfect film. And God and I are like, are you winning sleepovers? Because I'm pretty sure we're doing it. And then the girl next to me mentioned that she had a crush on a boy in our class. And I stood up and I was like, Kelsey, that's disgusting. He's a child. Because I knew it was a crime to like children. And I thought it was my duty as a red-blooded American citizen to call my hero, Olivia Benson, the NYPD ICU unit to come down here and arrest you if you so much as looked at another child. I didn't know it was fine if you were also 8 years old. I thought if at any point in your life you tried to hold hands with an 8-year-old, you just immediately went to federal prison. No questions. And it did mess me up socially and a little bit sexually, but we're not going to get into that tonight. My name is McDevitt. Thank you so much.